Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode here on Holme Wold Farm. So just a little update because I wasn't going to show you any more potato harvesting and combining because I think for this year on the game you've probably seen enough, but we were still busy doing those things and while I was trying to move the game forward, and then our neighbouring farm called us and asked if we would come and do some contract ploughing for him. So we've taken that on, and we've also got a little bit of contract drilling to do for him as well. So I thought that as they were different jobs, I would let you come and see them because, as I say, life is busy on the farm at the moment. Not only on obviously our farm, but on other people's farm as well. The other sort of little update is that the hay pellet price is starting to climb and go up, so it means that we may be getting ready to load them and take them obviously and sell them, which as you can see top right, we've got 53,000 in the bank. So the money boost will be quite nice because I've been doing a lot of sort of thinking and planning. You get the time when you're going up and down with that potato harvester to sort of think about the future and of the farm, and maybe what that will look like for us. And I mentioned in either my first video or one of the videos subsequent after that I was maybe going to get rid of the non-functional buildings on what I call Farm 2. So the dairy farm and those sheds are Farm 1. Farm 2 is the sheds that we own, still on the estate but further back. So yeah, we're looking to take some of those buildings out. I'm looking to maybe over the winter period modernise them, and also as well put buildings in that obviously have functions within the game so that it's not wasted space. I realise that those buildings are there for sort of decoration purposes and sort of aesthetic purposes, but with a farm that's growing hopefully as rapidly as what I want it to, that space is needed for buildings and stuff that we can utilize to the absolute fullest, because otherwise we're gonna run out of space, and then we're gonna have to sort of start using land for developing the farm, and I don't really want to do that, if I'm honest. The dairy farm probably does have the room for it. That second farm doesn't have the room for it. So I want to sort of build within the confines of how that farm is set out. It's got a lot of grain stores already there, so we just need to sort of evaluate, do they need upgrading, do they need modernising. As for the sort of outbuilding that's there, does what can we put there in its place that's going to benefit long term the farm? So it's all sort of decisions that we need to come up with and we need to make in order to send the farm to the next little level. I mean, as you can see, money is not plentiful, but the money for these contracts is soon going to start coming in, and the way I play the game, I'm only able to do contracts in the first year. So as soon as we hit winter, that will be the end of the contracts, because the next time contracts will come available, I'm imagining will be in the spring, and that would mean that I've been playing this save game for a year then in terms of gameplay. and so therefore contracts will no longer be available to us. We need to be self-sufficient. So the plan with the money from the contracts is that yes, we do need to upgrade a little bit of equipment. We need a little bit of equipment too. One of the things that we are desperate for is another big tractor. We're absolutely desperate for another decent sized tractor, and we're also open to the possibility of that tractor being a track tractor. We'll wait and see on that, just where we do go in the end, because at the moment we don't have a massive workforce. There were 3 of us and 1 part-time or seasonal, and we don't have a huge workforce, and when the contract goes we won't have a huge amount of work again. So it's will a track tractor at that point be beneficial, or would actually another wheel tractor be more beneficial, because we'd be able to use it over realistically a much more higher variety of jobs. The little tractor the little John Deere that I've got on the row crops that's been pulling the potato trailer, I'm looking to get rid of that tractor. It doesn't have a high enough horsepower. If I do get rid of that tractor, it does mean I'm going to need a sprayer, either a bigger sprayer to go on the back of the 6250R, or go around the back of this telegraph pole, otherwise we won't make it, or we go all out if we have the money and buy a self-propelled sprayer. If we buy a self-propelled sprayer, that's going to be 36 metre boom width. It means we're going to need a bigger drill, because our 5 metre drill obviously isn't going to drill to 36 metres. It will drill to 35 obviously, and we'd have a metre overlapping, but I don't like the idea of a metre overlap, because in real life that would lead to potential scorching issues, and also overdoses of chemicals on sort of strips every 36 metres. There would be, or every breed there would be a strip of overdose, and like I say, in real life as well, you wouldn't do it because of scorching, so I'm not keen on doing it that way. But we'll have to wait and see. I've got my eye on a couple of 6 metre seed drills, so I'm not sort of stuck for ways to go, but it's just finances really. Like I say, I do want more land. I'm very keen to get more land, because essentially crop prices is the only thing that's going to be bringing money in. So we don't, we need plenty of fields to be able to achieve our financial goals each year. Because as I say, we need plenty of room to farm, and and also to go with that, then we're going to need grain storage. Yes, we've got the silos. So the silos basically mean that we can dry the crops. As soon as the crops are dry within the silo, they'll come out of the silo and go into grain storage. And there we'll be able to keep the grain for as long or as little as we want. And we'll have the silos free again for anything else that we want to bring in and dry. It could even be that we sort of allow other farms to bring their crops to us for us to dry for them, which would be another source of income. It wouldn't be a huge income, but it would be another source of income. So they're all ideas that are sort of swimming around up there at the moment. Like I say, today we're ploughing for the Smith family. They're all out busy potato harvesting, and they need the land now starting to be turned over to ready for ploughing. Having looked at the land, I would have thought that this would have been more than good enough to have subsoiled and be ready for drilling. I would have thought that it would have been more than suitable for subsoiling and then planting wheat's going in this field, I think they said. And we've also got some another wheat field and a canola field to drill for them as well. Whether we'll get to drill this field, I don't know, because according to Michael Smith and the farm manager there, this is going to be one of the later wheats, so it's obviously going to be going in, I would say, around November time. But with their potato land now being cleared, they're obviously thinking about getting ready to start drilling wheat behind, which is, you know, the thing that we'll be doing as well. We'll be drilling wheat behind our potatoes as well, because they really are. Wheat really does thrive after potatoes. Potatoes and peas, and sugar beet as well, to be fair. Wheat will absolutely thrive after sugar beet as well. And oddly enough, if you do sugar beet, wheat, and then rapeseed, the rapeseed will then thrive after those two crops. So it's a bit of an odd one with the rapeseed, because in theory it shouldn't, not really, but I'm guessing it's because of the amount of nitrogen that the potatoes put into the ground, not only through their obviously foliage, but also because you obviously spread and spray high doses of nitrogen to get it to get them to prosper. And also as well, the ground is bug and herbicide free, because obviously you don't want weeds and bugs in the potatoes. So it does mean that the wheats are able to really thrive after potatoes. So that's something, as I say, on our farm we'll be looking to do as well. This is their plough, this is not my plough. We were going to use my 5-furrow, but they were very keen that this field was ploughed today, and then left to start weathering. So they're basically hoping for some rains, you know, come sort of October, November time. They're hoping for some frosts, and then they can go into it and drill. But it will, if conditions become very wet very early this year, it will give them ground that they can get on and drill, because it's ploughed. So another way round it that we will probably be utilising ourselves is to plough and drill. So to just keep the plough just ahead of the drill all the time, and then that way we'll be able to keep on drilling. I mean, if it becomes exceptionally wet, then even that won't work. But you know, while it's sort of raining, if you get a day of rain, you know, that will probably see you through a day or maybe 2 days of rain to plough and drill. But it's something that we used to do quite a lot on the farm, because we grew quite a lot of leafy green veg, and as they were coming off in sort of usually around November, December time, as long as there wasn't an absolute deluge of rain, but there was a sort of mix between rain and frosts, then we would plough and drill, and we would keep out, because we used to grow about, I think it was about 8,000 acres of wheat. So you know, it wasn't always ideal when you put it in, but ploughing and drilling does allow you to do that. So it again is something that we'll be looking at. If we do that, we'll be looking to buy a 4-metre, or if there is one, a 6-metre mounted drill. So not a trailing drill like a Burdestat. We'll have a mounted drill, and that will have a power harrow in front of it, and then it'll also be, the drill will be a combination as well of power harrow and drill. So we'll power harrow it twice to make sure that we get it nice and level, and then we'll drill into that, and then it won't be rolled until the spring then. So the springtime, once it's started to just come through, or just before we start nitrogen it for the new year, to get the, in springtime, we'll just roll that first, just to make sure that we do, you know, sort of push down any stones and we do level the ground off. Otherwise you will notice when you come to combine it that you didn't do it. So that will be something that we will do, and also as well it will of course help to keep some of the moisture from the winter in. So if we do get a bit of a dry spell early in the spring, then we will still have moisture locked in the ground for those seeds to thrive while we're putting nitrogen on. So yeah, as I say, it's all about forward planning. As I say, you know, these are forward planning, getting me to plough. I quite like this plough, if I'm honest. It's their plough. It's an 8 furrow plough. I was a bit worried that this tractor wouldn't pull it, but it's managing absolutely fine with it, which is nice. As I say, because I was a little bit concerned that we wouldn't be able to pull this drill, pull the plough, and when we come to do the drilling for them, we will be using our own drill. So apparently they drill to tram lines of 30 meters. So we've got a 5-meter drill, so we will be using our own drill, and we'll possibly be looking to putting a power harrow in front of that drill as well, just to make sure that you know, it's a nice level seed bed. So yeah, those are the plans and thoughts for the up and coming year on the farm. We're obviously starting to now get ready to start some of our own field work. We're not going to be growing wheats this year, so we might in the spring plant some oats if we can get hold of more land. If we can get hold of more land after the contract money comes in, then wheats and barleys and oats will become a thing, and probably canola too. Although we are starting to get a little bit late in the year for canola, so it will, you know, we'll move on to wheats and barleys. But if we don't get any more land, and as I say, we really do need to get these contracts finished, so if we don't get any more land, then next year we'll be missing out on straw altogether. I don't think we're going to need it. I think we've got more than enough to see us through 2 years. The cows are not going to breed all that much, if at all, because I can't remember how it works on FS19. So that they're not going to be causing us an issue, and we'll just go for potatoes, probably soybeans, I would imagine, and then we'll look the year after that harvest, we'll look to then start doing proper rotations and proper plans for the farm. And also as well, we need to get started. I don't think it'll be done this year, but we need to then start thinking about precision farming and moving the farm forward and being more yield efficient that way as well. So there's a lot of planning to be done, a lot of I guess trial and error as well, because as I say, I'm sort of, although I have played this game really ever, like, since it came out, but even through 22, I have had a few months break from it, because I did get interested in a save game that I had on FS22, which was on a map that was in FS17, the old German town. I think it's the Celia region from Bulgar as well, Bulgar or whatever his username is, or so it's that map. I absolutely love that map. It's my all-time, probably nearly favourite FS map, and I've been playing on it since probably late last year, probably maybe October, November last year, and got the Gowley or Gowl, or however you pronounce it, DLC. And that DLC doesn't work on that map. It's not compatible. It doesn't matter if I take out all the mods and just have that in there, it still crashes my game. So, and I've tried obviously the Gal DLC now on every other map that I've downloaded, and even with all my mods, it works an absolute charm. So somehow that that DLC is not compatible with that map. I don't know how or why that is possible, or why that's even a thing, but it's a thing. So I've had to stop, and after I had to stop, I was a bit gutted because, as I say, again that particular map I'd started from scratch and done. Before that, I'd done Maypole starting from scratch, and completed that map by myself. By owning it all and having £10 million in the bank. It's genuinely how I decide that a save game probably has come to the end of its life. Sometimes if I really enjoy a map, I will just carry on. But with Maypole, I was ready for a change, and as I say, I switched over to the Celia region, or Germantown in 17 as it was, and hope that was going to be the next one, and as I say, because it conflicts with the Gal DLC, and I do like the Gal DLC. I think the Giants have done a brilliant job with the bales and making them so handleable now and so stackable, and the equipment works a treat. I think they've done a fantastic job, and I think they need a lot of praise and credit for that, because although it baffles me, sometimes Giants do get quite a lot of stick for the stuff they do. But it honestly, in 2009 when I first discovered this game by complete and utter chance, I've got to admit I can't think off the top of my head anything that Giants have done where I've gone, no, I don't like that. There's been DLCs that I haven't bought because they don't fit into my way of playing the game, but that's not to say that I think they're rubbish or I think they're poor or anything like that. It's just that they don't fit into my way. They're not something that I would normally use. But the Gal DLC did interest me. The same as Pumps and Hoses, and I've not got it. And the reason I haven't got it is because I think it will become one of those mods or one of those DLCs that I will use religiously for a few months and then I'll never touch again. And it's quite a lot of money for me to then just sort of have in my mod folder and not using it. And that's why I've sort of been put off. I'd kind of wished that they would have done a new version of the Straw Harvest add-on, and I probably would have paid for that, because in 19 and 17 too, I used that mod a heck of a lot. I really like that mod. I'm not getting in very square opening out, am I? It's leaving quite big gaps that we're going to have to cover in the headland ploughing, which is a shame. But yeah, so as I say, a quick video, just an update. Was doing a different job. I had some ideas and thoughts that I'd been sort of thinking about whilst I was on my potato harvester, and of course in being an efficient tractor driver and farmer, I had my little notepad beside me, and every time sort of ideas and stuff came in, I jotted them down, and I've kind of whittled them down now to probably 10, maybe 15 things that I think this year may be achievable for the farm, and then there are things that have been put on the long-term list. I wouldn't be surprised if overall the development of the farm goes onto the long-term list, just because grain stores are a lot of money, and yeah, I think before that maybe more cows will become probably a higher probability. I think I know why that's not going in square, and that is exactly the reason why it's not going in square. Oh, yeah, we'll be fine. Anyway, that is yet again enough babbling from me, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks everyone that's viewed the last Holme Wold Farm video. Really appreciate it. It really does mean a lot, and I remind you again, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. Hit that notification bell and leave your comments. And any questions or anything that you want to ask or know, or anything like that, please feel free to ask. I will answer them all. I'm sat in front of my PC for many hours of the day, so I will have a chance to answer them and to get through them. So yeah, anyway, that's all from me. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye bye.